I pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm cash. I get to the paper.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another podcast episode to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. And this one goes out to all the people out there that are saying, I only talk bad about Kyler Murray. That's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. I went ahead and we're going to do two different podcasts today. If you didn't check out the one before around 12 o'clock, highly recommend you check that out. Obviously, it's my expectations on Kyler Murray and what Jonathan Gannon said to the media yesterday. Today, we're going to focus down on, you guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, can the Arizona Cardinals fix this offense? And we're going to be talking about Drew Petzing, which is going to be the biggest guy in the headlines right now for Arizona Cardinal fans, right? The big head scratcher out there. How can we cannot get this offense rolling the way that we hopefully was going to roll? But that's what we're going to be diving into today. Do me a huge favor, smack up the like button on your way in, and let me give a huge shout out here to the sponsors of the video. Real quick, it's going to be BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and a 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we heard from Drew Petzing today. I'm curious to figure out what your guys' thoughts are. Are you confident that the Arizona Cardinals will be fixed? This offense will be fixed by Monday Night Football, or even will it be fixed by the Miami Dolphins? Or are we going to be still struggling with the same issues of where is the consistency with this Arizona Cardinals team? Let me know here in the comments below. While we do that, we are going to go ahead and chime into a couple different things that I thought it was worth noting from the presser today from Drew Petzing. And I'm not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen, every one of these guys, every one of them, Jonathan Gannon, Drew Petzing, Nick Rallis, they all went to a seminar together. I'm convinced, man. They all went to a seminar. They know how to speak. They definitely know how to speak. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a couple different things. Obviously, we're going to try to find out here if you feel confident about Drew Petzing, how I feel about he's responded to these, questions that were asked today from the presser. And let's get started, shall we? The first one I wanted to talk about is the wide receivers. A good question was asked about how he feels about the wide receivers right now, and does he feel like we have gotten what they asked from the wide receivers, and this is what Drew Petzing had to say about that.
So I think they've done what we've asked. I think they're playing hard. I think they're playing at a high level. It takes 11 people to be good in the passing game, coaches included. So I think there's some things that we can clean up and be better. But I think at the end of the day, I think they're doing a nice job.
Ooh, nice job. I don't know if I would put a nice job on that, honestly. I really, and it's not a knock on the wide receivers, right? It really isn't. Now, routes, are they coming up to play? Yeah, they are. Of course they are, right? But the lack of what I was hoping he was going to say was more an elaborate, right? Because to me, I thought the question was more like, how do you feel like they produced so far, right? Like not so much how you think they're practicing and, putting in the work, because anybody can put in the work, right? I mean, obviously, if you're an NFL caliber wide receiver, you're putting in the work, right? You're not there because of, you got lucky. No, you put the work in, and that's why you are the way that you are. So I don't know. I didn't like that answer personally. I think the question was more like, how do you think they're actually, like, statistical wise, how do you think they're actually playing out right now? Like, and right now, if you look across the board, the wide receivers seem to be like not a big focal point in this offense. I get this is a run heavy offense. I 100% get that, right? But if you look at the stats for the Arizona Cardinals wide receivers right now, if you take a look at Michael Wilson, because obviously he's played a little bit more time under his belt because of Marvin Harrison Jr. going down. Michael Wilson right now has got 21 receptions, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. Let me say that again for the people in the back. 21 receptions, 237 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He is 61st in the NFL with the amount of yards that he has right now. Now, let's take a look at Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, yes, Marvin Harrison Jr. did not play the full week 6 because of the concussion, but Marvin Harrison Jr., 17 receptions, 279 yards, 4 touchdowns, averages 16.4 yards a catch. And this is after week 6, right? This is after week 6. So we got 2 out of the 3 wide receivers right now under what? 300, right? Let's take a look at Greg Dortch, shall we? Greg Dortch is supposed to be the third wide receiver of the Arizona Cardinals. He right now is 19 receptions, 174 yards, no touchdowns, averages about 9.2 yards a catch. Now, for the heck of it, I know he's not a wide receiver, but let's take a look at Trey McBride. He actually had a really good game this last week. Where's Trey McBride at right now? Trey McBride heading into week 7 is 28 receptions, 271 yards, 0 touchdowns, averages 9.7 yards a catch. So, constant of constants. All these guys are under 300 yards. Every one of these guys are under 300 yards. Michael Wilson, 237. Marvin Harrison Jr., 279. Greg Dortch, 174. And Trey McBride, 271. So, no. There needs to be more production. We're heading into week 7, and you're telling me there's none of these guys that are even close to 400 yards, not even one of them. Like, there's a constant thing going on here. Like, we got to get these wide receivers involved. Now, this next question here is asked about the offensive struggles that we've been seeing so far for the 2024 Arizona Cardinals, and this is what Drew Petzing had to say about the offensive struggles.
What do you attribute the struggles this week to after watching the film?
I think the big thing is we got to take better care of the football. I think that's certainly going to be a point of emphasis this week. If you lose a turnover battle in this league, it's going to be hard to win games. And then there's just a lot of little things to clean up, both coaching and playing.
Okay, real quick, we're really focusing on the fact that this turnover. Like, the turnovers are obviously a big deal, right? You don't want to have 2 fumbles, right? Obviously, right? The turnover battle, did we lose it? Yes, we did. Absolutely. But this was already before the game was over. Like, the game was cooked already. If you didn't think the game was cooked going into the second half, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it was cooked. Or at least halfway through the third quarter, if you didn't think this game was cooked, then I don't know what to tell you. But this game was done already. Like, so those happened, but that wasn't a big factor as to why the Arizona Cardinals lost. The Arizona Cardinals lost because the Arizona Cardinals offense couldn't get going, right? And the guy that we're looking to, obviously, the saving grace, the guy that hopefully, fingers crossed, is going to take us to a level of this offense can get better, still has yet to figure out the problem as to why we're still seeing a inconsistent offense throwing the ball to our wide receivers. Offensive struggles still happening. Still happening. Why? That's the question. Why? Does he know the answer? I'm not convinced he does. One more, and then we'll take it to the comments, and I got a video I need to show you guys as well. Also to do with the presser. Very, very telling here, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the biggest reasons I tell you this. Everybody is to blame here. Every single person is to blame as to why this Arizona Cardinal offense is struggling. Nobody is to blame. Nobody's going to go unnoticed. Everybody's to blame. Let's let this last one here. This next question was, your play calling has been under fire. What are your thoughts? This is what Drew Petzing had to say about that.
Mention on your play calling, and of course none of us have been play callers in the NFL. When you turn the lens on yourself, what would you say about your performance so far this season?
I think it's been a little inconsistent. I think that's the key is, I'm always going to say my play calling is how we roll as an offense. So when we're rolling, I take a lot of pride in that. I also think that I got to give a lot of that credit to the players and their execution. And when we're not, I got to look at myself and say, what can I do better? So I think, if you look throughout our first, 6 games now, I think we got to clean up the inconsistency, and that starts with me as a play caller.
Like, why are we still talking about inconsistency, right? So you're right. 6 games in, and there is offensive teams that are struggling out there. We're not the only teams out there that are struggling. I think the Browns are going through a whole different mess. Wait, where do we get Drew Petzing from? Was it the Browns? Okay, I digress, ladies and gentlemen. But what I'm saying here is the fact that why haven't we figured it out already? Like, what's currently going on? Like, okay, you're giving us all these cushy answers. You're giving us all these car salesman type of answers, right? But when the fire gets lit, when the fire gets lit under these guys, it almost kind of seems like either A, they don't want to respond, or B, they kind of want to ignore it. Let me explain to you why. There's a very specific play that I want to tell you guys about. Now, this happened in the first half, ladies and gentlemen, and this is why I'm saying everyone is to blame. Quarterback, wide receivers, offensive line, Drew Petzing, everybody that says they're a part of the offensive side of the ball is to blame. Let me show you this real quick. If you do not want to believe me, this was in the first half, in a 3rd and 1, and the Cardinals decided to do this. Peep this here, ladies and gentlemen.
Random play that there was a 3rd and 1 in the first half read option where they had 2 unblocked guys off the edge. Obviously, often they're going to have 1 unblocked guy off the edge, but when they have 2, what should have happened on that play?
Only 1 unblocked guy. Yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot of things that are going on in that play in terms of the ID, the defensive look, what we're trying to accomplish. So certainly that's not what we're looking for, and we got to clean that up.
So the issue was not the decision because, I mean, it looked like they were taking away both James and Kyler, so it has to do with the blocking up front.
Goes silent. Goes radio silent. He doesn't respond. And shout out to that reporter. I didn't catch his name, but shout out to that reporter here for continuing to obviously hammer in the thought of, okay, well, what's the thought process, right? Because this is in the thought where the Cardinals aren't down 24-0, right? And maybe there's a sliver of hope for the Cardinals to potentially come back. But this is why I said it's not all just on Drew. I want to be very, very clear. There is a very, very clear indication here, and I'm going to replay this right now, and hopefully I could mute it. But if I play this,
there was a 3rd and 1 in the first half.
Okay, never mind, I can't do it. So we'll have to listen
again.
again.
2
but
unblocked guys off the edge. Obviously,
look at this. Look at this play. That guy,
edge, but when
33 is coming.
What should have happened on that play?
Only 1 unblocked guy.
Why was an RPO called there? Can somebody describe why was an RPO called there? Why? Look at 33 is coming up. Did nobody see him? Right there.
They had 2 unblocked guys off the edge. Obviously,
look at 33 is right there.
1 unblocked guy off the edge, but when they have 2, what
Kyler
should
pulls
have happened on that play?
Boom,
Only
blown
1
up.
unblocked guy.
Blown up. And here's the thing, right? You got your Petzing coming out here saying, "Oh, one block." Like he makes a little light of it, right? He's trying to make a funny, right? Trying to make a little light of the situation that's currently going on. That's a very fair question. What is the mind process here, right? Of Kyler? What is Kyler seeing? What are you seeing? What was the? Why are we constantly in third? Why are we in shotgun on 3rd and 1? Like why? What are these questions that are not being resolved? Because that's a perfect example of why I keep saying it's not just Drew. I think Drew has a play into it. I think obviously the idea that Drew Petzing needs to put himself in a situation and obviously self-reflect, because although he said it the same way in his play calling, he needs to get better, right? He needs to be more consistent. Well, we all agree with that. We all agree that the consistency needs to be better. That's a fact. But that's a perfect example right there where the game wasn't gone quite yet. Maybe we were down 2 scores. Maybe we were down 1 score. I don't know. I don't remember the scoreboard by then. But we were still in the first half. We were still in the thick of things. And the Cardinals decided to do an RPO on a play that we needed to convert a 3rd down. And instead of converting the 3rd down and lining up with 12 personnel and ramming it down their throats, the Cardinals are doing the consistent thing over and over again. Right? Now, I am still putting a
3rd and 1.
I'm still putting a little blame to Kyler on this. Because look at this. Kyler's adjusting. He's doing adjustments. Look at that. Look at his leg. Boom. He sees it. He pulls it. He's looking at 90. He doesn't see 33 and boom. Like, this is the type of stuff that I need to get a real answer. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of these cushy, cutter type of answers. I'm tired of them. I seriously am. There's no excuse to get blown up the way that you got blown up in that play. 3rd and 1. A guy's coming in here, obviously eyeballing your quarterback, and we still snap it with an RPO. What is going on with this Arizona Cardinal offense? What? Now, yes, Paris missed a block. Let's watch it again. He very well could have missed a block. Absolutely. Let's take a look here.
Option where they had 2 unblocked.
Here we go. Let's watch it again. All right, Paris off the left right there. Paris, for some reason, there you go. He lets 90 go, He lets 33 go, so there's 2 unblocked guys right there. You're 100% correct. What the heck is Paris Johnson Jr. doing? Why is he going to the middle linebacker? Because that's what it looks like he's doing, right? Boom, middle linebacker. Now you got 90 and 33. You got Kyler Murray looking panicked. He's like, oh my God, what did I do? I should have gave it to James Conner. But even that would have been cooked by number 90 right there. You're right. Paris Johnson should have blocked that. But here's the thing. That just goes back to why is this offense not functioning correctly? I'm not saying this is all on Kyler. I'm not saying this is all on Drew. I think this is an accumulation of the offense completely whiffing. What is Paris Johnson doing? What is he doing? Look at that. Where are you going? What? It's crazy. It's absolutely wild. So although I do want to put some blame to Drew, and somebody asked me, they were coming in pretty hot because they were thinking that I said this is all on Kyler. And I'm still standing on my soapbox. This is not all on Kyler Murray in terms of why this offense is looking as bad as it is. It's not. It isn't. It's everything, right? And that's why I'm saying it's everything. Now, granted, that's one little play that we saw there where obviously, yeah, Johnson, for some reason, Paris Johnson Jr. goes for a middle linebacker as opposed to blocking the guy on the line, gets 2 people completely open, and RPO was still the move, right? But the motion of 33 coming up was already established. Maybe a timeout. Maybe we could have used the timeout. Maybe we could have changed the play. I don't know, changed the formation. Maybe a pitch. Maybe just ram it down their throat and try to get 1 yard. I don't know, right? I'm just trying to be clever out there, but it's crazy. It's crazy to me. Now, I want to be very clear. The main reason why we're obviously talking about Drew Petzing is because there's a group of fans out there that feel like I'm only bagging on Kyler. That's not the case. Look at my timeline. I bag on whoever needs to be bagged on. Drew Petzing, Sean Murphy-Bunting, anybody that needs to be bagged on, they're going to get it. Drew Petzing does have a level of, you need to get this right. You need to fix the inconsistencies of what's going on in this offense. But every single time I hear Drew Petzing talk about what's going on, everything is the problem, right? Everything is the problem. Play calling, execution, he mentions multiple different times. What's execution? The players on the field. So Drew Petzing says play calling, execution, right? Situational football. Everything is on the table. He mentions execution. Now, I'm maybe making a little bit bigger deal of everything, but everything is the problem. That's coming from the mouth of the Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator. We hear Jonathan Gannon talk about details. Details. On that play right there, that's no details at all. We got my guy Cards fan in the chat says Connor still had a way better chance of converting that. I do agree with that. I actually do agree with that. I would rather James Conner take that than Kyler take that, honestly. Kyler's not used to obviously tackling, while James Conner can shed off somebody if he needs to. Now, granted, that was a defensive lineman. Maybe he couldn't, but I would rather trust that ball in the hands of James Conner other than Kyler Murray taking that rock and trying to convert that third. Not everyone on the same page. Yep, exactly. Preaching about the details, but we're still talking about details in week 6, and we're still talking about the details in last year. So, okay, when are these details going to get resolved? That's the big question out here. And I know Michael, I see you, Jude, says start with Bidwell. He needs to sell. X says it perfectly. Jude, find a billionaire. Maybe he will. 100%. We don't have a billionaire in our pocket. We don't, right? We don't have a billionaire in our pocket. And here's the thing. Here's a cherry on top of the ice cream, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if you guys were aware of this, but let me go ahead and include you on what's currently going on with our 2024 Arizona Cardinals and the fact that, let's take a look here. Let me see if I can get a screenshot. There was a report that came out here from Paul Calvisi on X/Twitter. Guess what? Another free agent acquisition for the Arizona Cardinals. Another one is now finding himself on the IR. Bilal Nichols. Bilal Nichols is now finding himself on the IR, ladies and gentlemen. So Bilal Nichols on IR, Matt Prater on IR, and then Chad Ryland signed to the active roster. That's another free agent for Monty Ossenfort and Bilal Nichols that was supposed to be in Iron Man. Supposed to be an Iron Man. And guess what? Guess what? They just drink the water in here in Arizona and it all comes crumbling down, I guess. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to make sure that I made it very, very apparent to obviously react to a few different things that we've heard from offensive coordinator Drew Petzing and kind of give you my thoughts in the whole situation. He is under fire right now. He is under fire. But somebody asked me very, very recently, do I think that the Arizona Cardinals should fire Drew Petzing? No, not right now. No, absolutely not. You ride out with what we got going on currently right now, unless it gets to the point where it's very, very bad and the Cardinals find themselves at 2-6, 2-7, heck, maybe even at 2 and more, then you act. But as of right now, the Cardinals are winning games. Monday Night Football, we'll see what happens. Can they fix it? They can. They can fix it. But Prater is going on IR. Bilal Nichols is going on IR. And Chad Ryland, which is the second-year player, is going to be our kicker. So, go figure. Monty Ossenfort, thank you for putting us in this position, I guess. Whatever. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, we're going to close up shop. We just want to have a smaller, abbreviated podcast today to obviously talk about Drew Petzing and how I feel about what's currently going on and what he said in the most recent press conference. All right, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cardinals.